boom, boom, beat.
Alrighty, Juanitosville, we are back in the shop after a little bit of a break, man. I'm telling you. Welcome to episode 50. This is what I have been waiting for. I've been mentally preparing for this. This is a collaboration with Noble Art Dimensions. She did these stones. She did all these stones. Look at all this. Kingman turquoise. Oh my goodness. This is called Koalin Clay Matrix from Kingman Turquoise. This is old stock. Oh man, look at the matrix in there. Look at that brown. The golden brown in that matrix. So she also gave me some of this. This is called Wild Horse Magnesite. Gila Wilderness, Southern Arizona. Look at that. Wild Horse Magnesite. This is going to be Noble's piece for her bracelet. We're going to do... Dang cats! Sorry, my cat's getting in a fight. Hold on. Alright, guys, I'm back. I'm sorry. My cat was out there thugging in the streets, and So this is the collaboration. This is going to be accumulation of all of the skills and the things that I've developed over the past 50 episodes. This clasp right here, guys. This is I wore this today because this is the prototype. The first one I ever made. I've had this for about 4 years. 4 or 5 years, maybe. I hope you guys put on your seatbelts, pull up your tube socks, because we're going for it, man. All right, I can't leave you out for this part. This is always the fun part. Oh, opening up a brand new piece of 20 gauge. This is 20 gauge. Oh, man, look at that. So basically what I start here with is I look at my stone, and I know that I want to do rails on each side of the piece, about what my rails are going to be. And the rails are these parts right here, guys. Now I hope Noble is saucy enough to rock this, because with the stone this size, I mean, you can see, guys, this is pretty comparable to mine. But I think I'm going to go sideways like this, because if I went like that, that'd be really, really tall. Okay, so I'm thinking about that wide. Noble, what do you think? All right, guys, I have this pattern wire right here that I think is marvelous. I just think this is so cool. It's kind of soft, but still very elegant. If you look at the design on that, it kind of mock this up right here with the stone. I want to have about close to 1/4 of an inch on each side of the stone here. So I'm just going to go right here. Let's go 35 mil. Oh, I love these pens, guys. Sharpie's gonna sponsor me one of these days. Watch. I love these pens. If you don't have one, get one, because I got so sick and tired of looking for the cap and then my pen's drying out. But with this, beautiful. I want this to be bossy, man, because Noble is she's a strong individual, and we have to make sure that she feels powerful when she wears this. Powerful. Okay, guys, let's do our score. Ooh, nice. I've decided that I'm going to need about 4 1/4 piece here, and then I'm going to go over that same amount. I'm going to keep my dividers at this width, because once I get that, I'm going to do another one, and then that's going to be for the door. Alright, guys, somebody was asking me what my saw is. This is what it's called, New Concepts. I don't know exactly where to find it, but I think if you Google it, it's pretty big. You can go deep into the game, baby. Alright, guys, we're about close to finishing this, but I want to give you guys this tip if you guys haven't seen my earlier videos. I use candle wax on my blade to lubricate the blade. It kind of makes your blade last longer. And by the way, this is a number 3 blade, so this is a big blade. Wham blam, friends. Yeah. So yeah, I went to Austin, Texas to do comedy. It's the stand-up comedy mecca of the country right now. And man, I'm telling you, it is hot and humid there. And now I know why Texans walk like John Wayne. Yeah, sweaty underwear. Sweaty underwear. All right, Juanitosville, let's do one satisfaction video. Let's watch me tear through this 20 gauge silver. New Concept saw, number 3 blade. candle wax on it for lubrication. Let's go. Back to reality. All right, guys, we are here. We have the pieces, man. We have the long piece. We have the short piece. This is where the hinges are going to be. B. Oh, sideways O. 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 M. And then, you know, we got to put the 925 on there. I put a little mark there so I could just easily look at it and know which way's the correct direction. Not phony baloney. All right, guys, time to do the hinges. Let's roll. All right, guys, so here we are going to do the hinges. This is the tube that I use. I keep the round wire in with the tube so I know that they go together. Come, you guys, we're going to go here. We're going to do the hinges. I'm going to show you exactly how I do this. Okay, Juanitosville. By the way, check out the Juanitosville mugs on link in the description. You can get your own Juanitosville mug. So here we go right here, guys. I usually put the wire or the tube right next to, just kind of mock it up, and I give it a little bit of a hangover here, like a drunk wino, a nice hangover. You don't want to be too perfect, guys. You want to be able to have a little bit hanging over at the end so that you can file it off and make it nice and flush. These are just little things, guys, so you don't have a headache down the road. I don't want you guys to suffer. I'd rather suffer for you, and then you guys can, you know, you guys are like could be like a spoiled teenager. You don't have to go through the hard pain that your parents did. You guys just have to just sit in your room in the air conditioning playing your... All right, friends, I was giving it some thought, and I have the tube here. I have the tube here with the wire, and I was giving it some thought, and I think, you know what? Because the amount of heat that I'm going to have to put on this to put these rails on is going to be pretty hot, and I don't want the hinges to be on there when I'm putting these rails on, because the temperature might make the hinges fall off. So I'm going to go with the heavy heat first, and I'm going to put these rails on. My technique is going to be I'm going to sand these, I'm going to tin, and then clean this up, and then we're going to put the rails on. Let's go. And then I'm just going to give it a nice clean on the edges here where I want my rails to be. And by the way, on my block, what I did today was I got my wire brush, and I brushed my block and then took it outside, blew on it, brushed it, blew on it, brushed it, because sometimes you get little pieces of impurities, pieces of solder that you don't even know are there. They might be little tiny balls of solder. Let's put it like that. Little hangover right there, just so that we don't have to be perfect. Bloop. Let's go right here, a little hangover right here. I'm gonna cut these real quick with the saw. You guys have seen that before. Quick tip, I know you guys probably already know this, but don't assume that these are flat sideways like that. So make sure that whenever you're getting them ready, that you're using your mallet, and I wouldn't do it on this block because this is a rubber block, but that you hit them like this to get them nice and flat, just a little taps. That you're also hitting them on putting it sideways, and then hitting it on the side, so that on both sides, so that it flattens it. Because I noticed on these ones that they were a little bit warped. But yeah, whenever these are textured, they're run through a mill, and the mill will kind of manipulate the silver in a way that might make it not straight. Yeah, if you had chalupas for breakfast, you might have a little chalupa juice on your finger, so you got to make sure that you clean it. Alrighty, Juanitosville, here we are. We have the rails. I have them sanded. I'm going to give it the old Chad Parker. Here we go, friends. This is our first fire. I have been gone doing comedy for the past week. I have not released a video. I've been contemplating this video in my mind, visualizing. But I have been gone, and I am so happy to be back in the studio, friends. I'm telling you. And those of you that don't know, I'm a stand-up comedian. I perform around the western side of the United States of America. If anybody wants to see some comedy, let me know, man. I have a comedy channel where I do my cartoons. I'm actually a cartoon creator as well. Comedy cartoon. Hard solder here, friends. Jeez, I'm shaky. Gosh. I guess that hotel coffee isn't as strong as the stuff I have at home. I'm just going to tin this. And I really want to have a nice collection of solder on here. Oops. Work your way down, spread it like cake frosting. You don't want any clumps. You want it to be as smooth as possible. Okay, cool. That's that first rail, and that's tinning, guys. Wait a minute. I just remembered. I am going to dip this in boric acid and denatured alcohol before I flame it, because I want to block any potential fire scale down the road. All right, revolutionaries, we're here. We have the denatured alcohol, boric acid. Give it the old dipperooski. Bam. And then get this far away. Give it this flameage. Oh, look how cool that looks. Can you guys see that? So we're going to let that cook off. I'm going to take a break because these are toxic fumes and I'm holding my breath right now. So I'll be back after the fumes clear. All right, guys, this is burnt off and we have cleared the air, so to speak. So here we go, guys. Let's put these rails on and get ready to take it to Pound Town. A little bit of meat on both sides. Cool with that, Benny? I'm cool with it. All right. Really, is that what my inner voice sounds like? Chad Parker. Thank you, friends, for all the subscriptions. I think I have almost 700 subscribers, man. That's pretty cool. Let's go, guys. Are we getting to this temperature? Let's stop listening to me yap and let's get this party started, man. Hard solder. We're going hard solder first because we want this to, we're going to get this hot several times. And we want to make sure that we, nothing comes off. So we're going to go in the order of operation. Hard solder almost everything in the beginning. I'm going to hard solder the rails, and then I'm also going to hard solder the hinges. Usually when I do this, guys, I like to start in the middle and then work my way out. Okay, I think I see some action. Okay, I did. Okay, let's move it. Let's get it moving this way. Okay, let's flip this around. Ow, really don't burn your hand. God dang it. This thing moved. Can I do it in real time? Should I turn the heat off? Dang, man, guys, I don't know. Hold on. Let me turn this down a little bit. It's freaking me out. Here. I want to see some solder run, friends. I want to see some solder run right here in the middle. You guys do any vacationing this summer? You go anywhere? It is August right now. We have some people in New Zealand, so it's winter down there. I saw some pictures on the internet. It was snowing. I was like, God dang. It's weird. It's weird how it's winter down there and summer here. Well, it's weird to me because I didn't pay very much attention in school. Why is it winter there? Who cares? We're over here making our dreams come true. Yeah, buddy boy. That was stressful, man. My eyeballs feel like they're gonna fall out of my head. All right, Juanitos, here we are. We are gonna do the door of the boom clasp rails right here. And yeah, man, let's just slowly bring this up to temperature. Yeah, buddies. Keep on rocking in the free world. Solder on the rails. Let it run, baby. Let it run. Okay. Now we're going to spend some time in just filing this right here and getting these nice and flat right up to the edges. Okay, guys. So here we are, man. Moving and shaking, waking and baking, making it happen, rapping. All right, you outlaw jewelry sickos out there. We're here with the hinges. This is the tube. And I typically would like to do, I do 2 small hinges and 1 big hinge. And I always put the big hinge, or the middle hinge, I'm sorry, the 2 outside hinges and the middle hinge. And the middle hinge, I usually make it a little bit bigger. So I do the outside hinges on the big piece, because it's more stable, and then I do the small hinge on the small piece, the 1 hinge on the small piece. Okay, so let's cut this, and then we'll get ready to do the hinge. You guys have seen this video, so you guys know how to do hinges, but this is the accumulation of all those skills all in one video, so we're gonna do the hinges for you guys, with you guys, so let's go. Quite a bit better, actually, friends. All right, cat loving hermits, we are back. I dipped it. Keep going, friends. Let's do this. We're gonna go hard solder again. So I have my hard solder bowl right here. This flux will turn black when the temperature of the silver gets to be about where I want it. A little bit stressful doing this, guys. No matter how many times you do this, I think it's always going to be like that. It's just part of life. Here, I'm gonna press. Okay, that it went in there, guys. Okay, let's go right here. Focusing right here, not on the tube. That solder's starting to respond. There, but I think it did. I'm close, guys. You can see right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit off of these, guys. I have the side of my file that has no teeth, and I have a side of my file that has teeth. So I want to make sure the side of my file that has no teeth is near my metal so it doesn't screw it up. Material than you think you need. Look right there, perfect. Look at that. Ooh, that's a nice fit. That's it. All right, guys, so this is my wrist mandrel, and I measured the 6 3/4 inches right here. That's where the tape is covering 6 3/4 inch. So if this bracelet fits around 6 3/4 inch, then I know that it'll fit her. See how acute the curve is close to away from the hinge? The hinge is here. I hope you guys can see that, but this needs to be, this is what this is going to look like. We're getting there, friends. Let's look at that. We're getting close. Her wrist is a little smaller than mine, so that's going to be perfect. That boy in. I'm looking at it. Does it look like a wrist? Oh, friends, look at that. We are in the ballpark. And this hinge is a little bent. This is 24 gauge. I want for it to go about this far, so I want to go 30 millimeters. Be about 25 millimeters. Sometimes I'm spatially challenged, but sometimes I'm spatially gifted. So that's what we're looking at right there, friends. I'm going to cut that out. That's going to bend, and that's going to be what this is right here. So I want about 5 millimeters in on each side. 7 mil. Sometimes I think, what would a smart person do? And then I'm like, oh, I should do that. Okay, so we're going to go like this. I'm going to follow my score. Then I'll put that in my vise and then bend those over, and then I'll bring it back whenever I do that, because I think I'm going to put it in my vise and then bend it and then hit it with this mallet and get a nice 90 degree on both sides. That's what I'm going to go for next. All right, friends, so this is where we're at. I just bent it on my vise. A couple things that I have done in the past. I have used leather to fold over. Let's go this side a little bit. But also, while it's in this state right here, friends, you might want to address those corners, because once those corners get down, the corner where my finger and my thumb is on, these corners, once those corners get down, it's going to be really hard to round those. This is going to fit right here, and the goal is to get that to bend, but still for it to maintain openness so that I can get my clasp to slide in there. So guys, some of it you probably will do with fingers. But I maintain relationship using this leather. And I'm just going to mark this so I can stay consistent with that. Let's keep working. Okay, we got a little bit more of a curve like that. Let's mock it. Okay, look at that, guys. We're getting close. All right, I got a really nice fit, friends. Feeling pretty good about it. I drew a line right where I want for it to be, just like so. And then so this is the part where we pull these out, put them over there for later. And look, these helped us maintain relationship, an even relationship all around the. Okay, and it was just a little idea that I had, and it worked. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do that every time now. Sometimes if it's a really small clasp, then I will use a piece of 20 gauge wire. Guys, let's go for it. I'll just put, just an indication. Circle here, I know these two go together. Our next step is to adhere this to this, and then this to this. Dang, that's gonna burn the camera, Holmes. Okay. Alrighty, Juanitosville, here we are, man. We got the solder on the back of the clasp bottom, the clasp back, and I put medium solder. I put plenty. So we're gonna tin this. We're gonna tin these and get the solder to really just kind of cake. So when I put these on the bracelet, then they're ready to go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with the first clasp piece right here. Just give it a little touch. Flash the top. Give a little pressure. Okay, I think we're good there, friends. Let's believe in that. I didn't see solder run, but it's underneath and it's hidden by these rails. But sometimes you just have to believe in it, and I think my educated guess is to believe in that right there. So we're gonna let that cool, then I'm gonna flip it around and do the other side. Can't leave you guys out, man. I had to bring you guys in mid-torch. Oh man, I almost forgot to push record. Okay, I'm concentrating heat on the bottom side right here. Trying to get the front of this face to flow. Create a nice bond so I can work on the tail end of it, and I think I got it. No, I don't. Come on, Johnny. That's on there. This one's on there. And shoot, guys. Looks like we're pretty much in the money. Let's keep working. All right, Juanitosville, a moment of humility here. I had to take off the hinges because they just were, I beat them up a little bit whenever I was bending this. You know what I'm saying? I wanted that to be a little bit more round than it was. So I hit it with the mallet, and then I bent I couldn't get the pin out. So I looked at it and I was like, Noble deserves better than that. All the clients, when we're working for people's jewelry, we always got to think, man, they deserve better. So we're going to make it better, guys. So I took the hinges off, heated them up, and previously I was using this tube, 18 gauge wire. This is 18 gauge wire. But then I realized, you know what? I have this other tube here that is a little bit thicker of a wall. And I put a note there for myself. 18 gauge. And new favorite, 00540. And if you can look at this, I don't know if you can, but it has a thicker wall. The other wall is good too. It'll be just fine. But I'm just going to kind of experiment with this thicker wall. And the 18 gauge fits just a little snugger, if that's a word, in there. All right, friends, we are at this point. I have these set up. Hard solder, friends. Can't leave you out of the trenches, friends. Can't leave you out of the trenches. I did the other side. Now I'm doing this middle piece right here. I had to kind of raise it so that it had the angle that I wanted for the hinge to have. Getting close to the heat, guys. I brought you in just before action, so let's hope for the best here. Let's be ready to press this against, which I'm doing now. The solder is starting to respond. Come on, buddy. Come over here. I left this a little recessed right here so that whenever I put the ball, then it's flush with the bracelet. This is not going to work. It has to come off. Guys, I'm making a lot of errors here. Do your math and make sure that your hinges line up properly. Don't just eyeball it like an idiot like I did. All right, friends, way too much time on this hinge. But hey, that's why we get paid the big bucks, friends. That's why we get paid the big bucks. Let's go high heat. Let's get this whole thing feeling kind of good again. Light, make sure I see no light underneath the tube. Looking into the sky, no light under the tube. So we have a solid ring of, that was a tiny, tiny piece of solder. So that's one thing that I'm learning, guys, is you don't need as much solder. I don't need as much solder as I always thought I did. Alrighty, Juanitosville, gee, many Christmas. Look at this, guys. I finally got it. I'm going to have to do some working on to get this back right again. But I just put this wire through the hinge. And it is nice. It's nice and tight. The hinge isn't all beat up. Look at that hinge. It's not all beat up. Noble deserves it. Okay, here we go, friends. This is where I'm at. This is the boom bracelet, basically, right here. This will fit her, and we're going to do the clasp. The stone is going to be on here. I have a special surprise for how we're going to mount that stone. It's going to be castellated bezel. We're going to do some Mayan art on this bad boy to really just make it just so amazing. So yeah, friends, I'm going to take a break and go take care of some other business. Probably go hang out with my bikini model friends. It's summertime, you know, like I said, they really, more pool parties, more bikinis, want me around. I don't know, probably for my charms. I'm sure that's why. But my bikini model friends are so pesky in the summer, like, come over. Alrighty, Juanitosville, we are here. We have the mock-up. I'm just going to mock this up to give it a general look. I know the stone is going to be about right here. A little bit more. Because I think I'm going to do a little bit of a rivet idea for this stone right here, guys. Like I have done in the past. It's going to be... It's going to work. It's going to be epic. It's going to... So this is where we have room for our adornments, and this is where we have some room, so it's not going to be a whole lot of room, something like that. So I work within the confines of those lines, and that rhymes. Oh my goodness, really, friends? I know that she wants this, guys. This is G2. This is from the Mayan calendar of her birth date, and it's this symbol right here, friends. Now, I'm not the best artist in the world, but you guys are going to see me try this. And I might hyperlapse this. Okay, I think that's it. Do that. Let's make it happen. People sometimes ask how, like, what do you use to stick your, and this is what I use, just regular old Elmer school glue. Now we're going to do some saw work, some intricate saw work, and possibly some stamping. You guys can see that. This is where I keep my stamps. So when I grab a stamp, I poke myself with these other stamps just to make sure that I don't forget they exist. Okay, you crazy jeweler saw fanatics out there, jeweler blade knowledgeable freaks. This is what I have, guys. This is a 6/0 saw blade. Rio Grande. If you go to their confusing website, you can just plug in that number for 6/0. It's a pretty skinny saw blade, friends. If you guys see my chart here, the big ones are a size 10, and then the small one is 10/0. So this is a 6/0, so it's more on the small side, 0.36 millimeters. So we're gonna just work around this and hope we don't break too many saw blades, because this is 18 gauge back plate, and I'm gonna go through just a little bit of this. So I'm really trying to, if I can, is get right on the black line. Cool. We got the circle out. Now let's just go with the design. Let's do these little candy cane looking things next. Oh shoot, that fell and it didn't land in my thing. It landed on the ground, so I have to get on my hands and knees I spent all of 2022 on my hands and knees looking for parts. You guys don't want to watch this part. Okay, that's not it. Jeez, man, I'm so, how embarrassing. That's what I was looking for. On my hands and knees like a moron. So a pro tip, guys, when you drop something on the ground like a damn moron, use the flashlight on your phone and try to see if you can. All right, guys, so the intricacies here, the J's are cut out. They're fit in like a puzzle. This end is cut out. This end is cut out. The middle piece, this outside. All right, guys, here's the semi-pro tip that I forgot I knew. Sometimes I forget I know stuff. But if you don't want to use your fingers to hold a little tiny piece, just use your flat nose pliers. All right, guys, this is always the part that's a challenge. I'm stamping the face that under the eyes. Let me see if I have room for that. I don't know if I do, guys. If I had a tiny stamp like this with a slight curve, that would be ideal. All right, misfits, this is where we're at. I am mocking this up. I'm putting it face down, and I'm telling you guys, this part has taken me longer than I probably thought it would. So, guys, I'm sorry this is taking so long, but man, when you are doing the master's work, you are doing the genius work. It takes the time. It takes the time. Okay, all right, let's go. Okay, we're going that. Sip of coffee just to get my hands nice and shaky to make this even more difficult than it needs to be. You know how we roll, friends. You know how. Oh, guys. I don't know. Let's examine. Okay, so we're gonna fine tune this, and then we're gonna get this. Now I have this piece is all one, which has all those little tiny pieces, and then this circle I could easily just. All right, Juanitosville, we are here, and I am going to put the pieces where they go. Here we go. Oh, buddy. Okay, do we subscribe to that channel? Are we gonna smash the like button on that one, friends? Let's hope for the best, dudes. Okay, that is looking pretty red. Flash the top. I think there's some action there, guys. So I'm not going to play with it too much. I'm going to let that cool off, just by naturally. I'm not quenching it, and then we'll start going like that, and then we'll put it on the mandrel, and we might have to tap down. I might get a piece of wood. Make sure it's really down. Get it hot again, so that there's like a lot of surface touching each other, and then. Level spot right here, and I'm gonna get my mallet that I got from Professor Blue. Has a rubber end and that kind of end. On the rubber end, I'm just gonna. That's all down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flux it, give it another fluxarooski right here. I'm just gonna give it one of these because I know it's gonna seep underneath. And then we're gonna heat it again, and just let that solder just kind of start to marry where it wants to, because it wants to go in all those places. So just do it again. What kind of support does your if your partner doesn't do jewelry, or if they do, how does your partner support you? You know, like Millie, she does the polishing, and she takes care of me. You know, just make sure I have water. I'm not in, because I will be in here for hours and I'll forget to drink water, and then before you know it, I'm crawling back to the house on pulling myself by one arm like on the action movies. Oh, that's bad. So she helps me kind of stay alive, which I appreciate. All right, you lovers of songs that have bad words, we are here. I have 9 balls. Actually, I have 10. And I sprayed some flux on there. All right, Juanitosville, I gave it a little, one of these Chad Parkers. I put all the solders where I wanted them, and I sprayed it with flux, Chad Parker style, and now we're going to just hope that the solder does what we want it to do. Okay, I think we're gonna try that and we're gonna believe in it. Okay, deep breath, positive energy. Let's let that air cool, and then I'll start thumbing it and seeing what's happening. All right, Juanitosville, one ball, the one that I thought was kind of sus, it actually was, and it was this one right here. Bam. All these other ones are on. I'm feeling pretty good about it, so I'm just gonna heat this up again and just go through each one and give them a little tap down just to make sure that if there's some solder on there that it's really pulled and hugging the yeehaw. So we have the stone. We're gonna do some special things with this. For my kick-ass cuff, look at that. Noble. Oh, I didn't know that was under there. Okay. All right, guys, so I'm going to let you in on my idea that I have here. I want to do a step riser for this stone here. So essentially what I want is for there to be the bezel, the castellation will go around to about right here on each side because it's going to be 18 gauge, which is fairly thick. Then it's going to bend down about 4 to 5 millimeters and then come out, and then we're going to rivet 4 or 5 millimeters, rivet. So this is going to raise above the curve of the bracelet and be riveted down with the castellation on top. So what we got to do is find out how wide this bad boy is. Let's go right here, friends. Here we go, friends. Let's rock and roll. I'm gonna saw on the outside of the line. Won't you take me to Funky Town? Sorry. Oh yeah, you like that? Psychological tactics. You know my philosophy. If you can see me saw the last 5 or so millimeters of what I did, it feels like you watched me do the whole thing. All right, guys, if you haven't seen my hillbilly method of measuring for the around the stone, how long of a silver I'm gonna need, what I typically do is I'll start at a starting point, a piece on the stone that I recognize. On sandpaper, I've learned that it won't slide around, which I like, because if you try to do this on a flat surface. So right there, looks like we're about 73, exactly 73. And from my experience, I've learned that if I add 4 millimeters to that, then it'll be pretty dang close. I do actually. This is 20 gauge, guys. Typically, I use 18 gauge for castellated bezel, but I've actually learned that I can also use 20 gauge. And so we're going to measure the height of this stone. Good. I'd rather have more than not enough, so I'm going to make it just a little high, so it generously hugs over, because this stone isn't exactly flat. It's going to be quite high on that side. But I have some leveling paste that I'm going to use for the first time ever. Noble gave me some, and it's going to help level this stone just right. So I'm going to give it a couple more. Okay, friends, this is what we're looking at. All right, friends, we're about to castellate this bezel. We have the tools here from, it's called the Top Jaws from Jim Brandvik. I'll put the link in the description. You can buy your own. I hope he's still selling these. But basically it just works like this. You have 2 settings here, a 3 millimeter and a 2 millimeter. I like the 2 millimeter. It's kind of a tighter castellation. And then we just go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, maybe 13, 12. With a number 3 saw blade, friends. Number 3 saw, not 3 over 0, that's very thin. A number 3 saw blade gives it a nice kind of wide castellation. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like about 11 good strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next step. But if you've seen me do castellations before, friends, you could watch this episode. I can't remember which one it is. It's right here. I'll put it right here. You could watch that episode and it'll go through the whole process of making these castellated bezels. All right, real quick, friends, we're going to hit them with the bez jaws, which are a different kind of jaws for the bezel. And this is where you get the up and down lines for the castellation. And you can also use the tool for this, but I found that I prefer to just eyeball it because I trust my eyes more than I trust the tool on this particular step. Doesn't take much. Okay, you jewelry outlaws, look what we have, friends. We did it. This. If you guys can see that line along the crown right there is kind of sloped. Gives it a nice finished look. Okay, guys, so you guys ready for the moment of truth to see if this stone fits inside of this bezel like we want it to? So if you guys recall, we did 5 millimeters longer than necessary. So I start on the flat end of the bezel. That's how I was taught to do this, is you don't want your seam to be on a corner or on like a ridge, I guess you would call it. Bam, bam, friends, using my gorilla fingers. Okay, just like I suspected, we are about a millimeter, maybe 2 millimeters big. Dang, guys, what is it? What do you guys think? Maybe 2 millimeters? 2 millimeters? Cool, cool. That's better than short, friends. So in the future, maybe when in 4 millimeters, I think if I recall, I should have watched one of my old videos. I think 4 millimeters is what I determined was ideal. Nice flat surface. So when I solder these together, they like each other. Throw this bad boy in there, take a gander. We have a nice little bit of cleanup right there, but you know, sometimes that happens. The solder did fill the gap you can see underneath. Filled it very nicely. Very nicely underneath. We have kind of a wide one right here, but I'm going to set this bezel onto the back plate and then I'm going to cut it last. Because if I cut along that seam, it's going to compromise the strength of that seam whenever I'm soldering it onto the back plate. So I'm going to do that last. Okay, Outlaw Jewelry Rebels, I have an idea, friends. So I put this on there to just kind of mock up what would be around it with the bends. But before I do that, I think what I'm going to do is one of our other techniques that you can find in this video. Look at that technique. Yo, wouldn't that be cool to have this all right there and then bent and ooh, just... Alrighty, friends, you guys know how to do the texture, but we're just going to do it real quick for you guys. I'm going to try to make it as quick and painless as possible. Give the Chad Parker. Now I want texture, but I don't want it anywhere where my bezel's going to be. And then we're going to give it the old Firewski and man... Let's see. I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. I don't have the answers. Not all of them. But we're going to find them. We're going to find them together, friends. When it starts kind of feeling like it wants to get soft and melt on you, you might have a nice fuse. I go a little harder. That shiny snow look. I'm going to go a little shiny snow look over here. I was getting close, but I pulled off. Get that shiny snow look. See if you guys can see that. It's starting to shine right now. Shiny snow, shiny snow. Bam, friends. All right, guys, this is where we're at, and I think this is looking pretty good. I put this down, and then I marked 5 millimeters on either side of the... So I think just inside of each of these marks is going to be my first step down. So I'm going to take it over here to my vise. And on my vise, actually to Noble's credit and her suggestion, I put moleskin inside of the teeth of my vise so that I don't have an issue with marring the metal. So I'm going to go kind of inside of it where I can't see the line. We're just going to go for it. All right, Juan Needlesville, I can't leave you out of this process. I did the other side. I got that much on this side, and now I'm getting ready to do this side. And I want to show you guys how I did this because I didn't know how I was going to do it, actually. I don't remember how I did the last one. I think I did it something like this, but it was a lot easier because it didn't have all this hard texture on it. So I just went like this, and then I just bent it like that. And then I got this wood in my hammer, and then I just hit right into the crease. Perfect. Just like that. Took it off, and there we go. I don't know, guys. Can I just solder this on instead of rivets? I want to do the rivets, though. That's part of like the skills I wanted to share. Okay, I'm going to determine how much space we have on this end. We're about right there. And this is about where I want my... I have a feeling I should put this bezel on about now because I'm going to have to warp it a little bit to get it where I want it. And man, dude, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to I have to take care of some business, go hang out with my bodybuilder friends. I'm going to take a break. Guys, I think I'm going to have to take a break on this. Give it some time to think, marinate, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do. This is going to be super duper fire though. All right, you Coca-Cola classics, we are back in the shop once again. I'm getting ready to set this this bezel. What I'm going to do is, as I always do, guys, you know, give it the old... Well, I know I want this to go up, so this is what I'm going to do, friends. I probably should give it a little action. This piece of hobo sandpaper here. No offense to any hobos out there. When I say hillbilly and hobo, I don't mean hillbillies or hobos. But, you know, droppy, droppy. You know how whenever that fluid starts to sizzle, starts knocking your solder chips around like a bully on the bus, knocking the dorks around. Okay, guys, here we go. And I don't subscribe to dork knocking around. So don't, just because I say it doesn't mean you have to go out and do it, friends. I am going to just make sure these solder chips are touching against the bezel so that whenever they decide that they want to respond to the heat, then they have a home to go to, and that will be between the back plate and the bezel. But I want to get that, I want to pull that solder to the outside, and I just did right there. So yeah, the solder will follow the heat. So if you heat on the inside, and if it runs good on the inside, but it's not all the way like a nice meniscus on the outside, you can pull the heat to the outside, and it'll give you that nice meniscus. I hope you guys can see that. I don't want to drop this on my hand or ruin my day. Okay, cats, moms, and dads, this is where we're at, guys. I took it out of the pickle. I did some light yellow silicone wheels on it, just very lightly, just to see what I'm working with, and everything's looking really good. The thing that I'm kind of looking at right here, and I think you guys probably see it too, is how I kind of shied away from where I thought the bezel might go. Because if I got some of this texture underneath where the bezel, it would never sit flat. It would never seal all the way around. So I was a little bit conservative on where I put that texturizing dust. But now that I have it at this point, I did pretty good over here actually. But now that I have it at this point, I'm thinking about adding some more dust. So I don't know if this is going to work, actually, to tell you the truth. But I'm going to go for it because I just think it would just look so much saucier. Now, the question is, and the reason why I'm a little bit reluctant to try this is because in order for this dust to develop that texture, it has to fuse, and it has to get really hot, which is quite a bit hotter than probably hard solder wants to get. Okay, I see shiny snow on that side. I see some shiny snow. It's kind of the look that I look for, guys, is if it looks like shiny snow, I know that we're probably in a good fusing place. And I only know that because I've done this enough. Okay, jewelry psychopaths out there. It worked right here, but it didn't work right here. So I'm going to go right here. Alrighty, 180'sville, here we go, man. We're right here. This is what it looks like. I put yellow silicone wheel on it. It was a little bit drooped in. So what I did is I just put it on this. And I just kind of pressed down with my thumbs until it got nice and flat. Okay, so I'm going to fine tune this. And then in this space right here, we're going to put some wispy feathers right here. I'm just going to look at it and then kind of start designing. This is the kind of the fun part for me, is doing the design, because I think that's probably one of my strong points, is design and ideas. We're out. That's the vision that I see. Like when I think about the back or the top of a Mayan headdress, I see the feathers going like a fleur. You know what I'm slaying, like that, you know, like this. Whoop. I need to have a stop. When this door closes, it goes until it stops, and this is the stop right here, guys. And I like to use these circles, these spirals. I call them spirals of life. It's a common theme in Navajo jewelry. Shout out to my Navajo brothers out there. So what I do is I just get my little the tiniest double round nose pliers that I have, and I do a little twist, and I just do this. I hope you guys can see this. And then at the last, I'll kind of press it. So my idea, friends, is to have this at the end, and I'll do some contouring on this to make it really cool. But I'm gonna have this at the end to stop the door. And then coming out of this is going to be a series of little feathers, like a headdress. So if I can get it to raise about like that, I'll feel good about it. And then I'll file this bottom, make it flat, so that whenever I set it down, it'll solder very nicely to the back plate. But it's going to work very beautifully because it's going to sit just like that. So that's what we're going for. Now let's work on some little tiny baby feathers, man. That's the headdress right there. This is the stop. That's going to be for the slide clasp. Cool. We're going to make that happen, guys. We are going to make that happen. Watch. I believe in it. All right, guys. So the question right here is, what do you guys think? Do you guys think I should put solder on the face right here and then put these on top of that and then heat it? Or do you think I should put solder on these and then place them and then heat it? All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with a vengeance. I spoke with the jewelry gods to put solder on every single one of these bad boys, and I'm gonna go with medium solder, which I don't have any cut, so I'm gonna take a break and do that right now. Medium solder right here, number 101701 at Rio Grande's. Friends, quick soldering tip. I'll cut little strips like this, and then I put my thumb to hold them down, and then I just give it the thickness that I want. There needs to be a good amount of solder on these, I believe. Like that, guys. Man, boys and girls out there, cat moms and dads, are you guys here at the party? You guys are struggling, paying attention, trying not to fall asleep, but we're going to turn some fire on, and hopefully it'll wake you up, boys and girls. Let's go to the town. Daddy's going to buy the family some new shoes. One pair. You have to share. Okay, here we go. Whoa, buddy, it's acting a little, sus. Acting a little sus, friends. Okay. All right, guys, I know there's a little piece still sticking up. I'm going to hit it down or pinch it down. Give it the pinch. There we go. Okay, that is where I want it. Make sure they pinch down right here. That is down. Okay, now I'm going to give it a little Chad Parker. And then while it's still nice and toasty, we're going to go for it again. Everything here is turning red at the same time, which lets me know that they are all one. Okay, I have one tip I need to press down right here, taking my heat away. Press that down. Now it's down. So I'm acting in real time, friends. I'm looking at what is and what is. I'm trying to really look close. Paying very, very close attention to the very, very minute little details of this, these little tiny feathers that I have here. Okay, I see some action right there. Do I see action here? Getting close. Okay, I feel really good about that, guys. Oh man, I almost started crying. Alrighty, you drunk winos out there, let's see what we have here. This is the headdress on the head. Artistic. Putileti. Okay, right here, friends. That's how that's going to be. It's going to go. It's going to work. Soften it up a little bit. So I think the next thing to do is to make the door, the slide, and then the wire. No, that's 25 millimeters. 25. I'm going to go 25 millimeters because I want to have more material than not enough. And this is our door. Possible design on this, guys. Now, you know me, I love design. All right, friends, so I kind of figured out a way to make a pyramid. Where we're at, guys. So I think what I'm going to do is do some stamping. And if you guys have seen me do some stamping before, you guys know my technique. It's kind of wild. But I basically go like this. Boom. And then I use this tool that I invented. Well, I didn't invent it, but I created it. And basically, yeah. Hope I don't screw up. Man, that's going to be very precision with this tool. Do I trust myself, guys? Do I? I don't know if I do. That's a long straight line to do. And it has to be just right. Oh no, maybe do I trust myself? Do I? Well, you know, it's just silver. This is for Noble, man. We're gonna go for it. How cool will this be if I can pull this off? I don't know if you guys can see that. Not bad. All right, let's keep working. I'm going to grab my smaller stamps, and we're going to fill in the little areas that I didn't quite get touched on the edges, and we're going to fine tune this. And yeah, we got this. We got this. Heck to the yes. All right, I'm not going to play stash on the homies like that. Look at this right here. We're going to do the inside parts. It's going to have some steps, friends. So I'm going to do a border on the stairs. Then I'm going to do sideways lines for the steps. Very nice, very nice, very nice. All right, well, I guess this is the part where we start filing and getting it to fit nicely in our slide clasp thing. Get Give a little bit of a bend to it. So this is kind of one of those things that's not really, there's no YouTube videos on this. This is the only YouTube video you're going to find on making this clasp. And if you find another one, let me know. Because I'm kind of feeling like I'm the only one. Just like this, just to get it used to going back and forth. Now once it's polished, it's going to slide a lot easier. All right, Juanitosville, so I made an error somehow, some way, but this wanted to be right here, and then that would have been off-centered. So what I did was I flattened this out, and I think what I'm going to do is take it from here, which is off-centered, the way that it, see how off-centered that is, guys? And then I'm going to go and make it centered, which is cool because this acute angle right here requires a lift for this idea, and this is going to be also lifted, but then I'm going to bend it, and then I'm going to rivet it to right here. So it's going to have this step here, and then it's going to slope down and then riveted down in a different, it's going to be a really cool unexpected design feature. And I had to, it was like out of necessity, guys. So I'm going to cut this just outside of the rivets and then shorten it, and we're going to make this happen. Okay, friends, so here we are. We have the ball that is going to be the thumb catch, that is going to be this ball right here. If you can see, it's kind of mushroomed. There's a space kind of in there around that. Okay, so that's what we're trying to achieve right here. So we're going to file this a little bit more, and then we're going to set this on our slide. All right, you wily coyotes, this is where we're at. I did the slide thumb catch. I decided that this is the way I'm going to go about it, just the traditional boom clasp way. And now we have some tube, thick-walled tube that I like. Fits, I believe it's 18 gauge. And when you guys do these tubes right here, friends, when you do these, make them a little wide, because if they're too skinny, then they'll rock back and forth. So I know you guys love my pain, so I figured I'd let you guys see my struggle here. I made this 3-tiered thing to put this on, and then I want my... Somebody on the internet asked me, they said, I noticed that you don't do anything to protect your previous solder joints. Presumably from them popping off when I get this hot. And I've never had that problem, guys. I've never had the problem of something popping off. Knock on wood, ball, and get it on my solder pick. But I think a lot of it, what I said was, I have pretty good torch control, and I understand the heat of the silver. So I kind of have gotten, and I admit it, I've gotten pretty damn lucky. Dang, that went onto the tube. I'm angling the heat away from the existing tube right here. We're good. We're good. I can see the meniscus right underneath the tube, all along the bottom of that solder joint. Right there, right there. Can you see that? Doesn't take much, guys. Okay, just working this a little bit with my fingers. That click is what you're looking for. Just like this one. Alrighty, Juanitosville, we are here at this point. I will need to rivet this onto this. What I did was I did a little lead hole with this screw and a little tap with the hammer. So when I put my drill bit into that, it'll sit and it won't skip around. Using probably these drill bits that I got from Harbor Freight. They're very skinny, but I want to start small before I bore them with this 1/16 drill, which is what is on the top here. But I'm going to start with my lead hole because I just want to have a nice skinny hole and then start small and work bigger. All right, amigos and amigas, this side of the shop where I have this set up. Okay, we're getting it. Okay, now we're gonna go in with this one. Okay. Okay, friends, we're getting close to the promised land. I did drill the hole, as you guys just saw that, and 1/16 drill bit is equivalent to 14 gauge. Now, 14 gauge is going to fit in there very, very tightly, and that's kind of what you want. You want a nice tight fit into that. So probably before you kind of get too froggy with it, I'd go through each one of the holes with your 14 gauge and make sure that you're going to be able to get through it. You might have to go through with your bit again and just bore it a little bit to make sure that you're not unable to get that in there. Real quick, I have to show you this. 344-336 is these ball burrs. If you guys can see that, this is the biggest of the ball burrs. And what I do is on the inside of the piece is I put the ball right in that circle, and then I drill, zzz, and it creates a cone, and just give you a really nice bottom seal. The top is going to have like a mushroom look, and the bottom is going to have a flat cone form into the silver, so that it keeps it from wanting to pop out. So that's just a little tip that I picked up along the way, and I thought it'd be helpful for you when you do rivets. Do a cone on the bottom side, and you'll have a nice, firmer, forever lasting rivet. Okay, a quick look into that cone that I just drilled. It doesn't take much, guys. It doesn't take much. I filed it flat on the end, put it through this first top left corner first. I put it through about that much, and then I look underneath. The rest of these are, once that's in there, I'm gonna just drill a hole. So this first one is the crucial one. Now we're underneath it, friends. Can you guys see that? I want the underneath to be down probably a couple millimeters, and the top to be up a couple millimeters. Get my shear little buddies, and then I give it a snap at the top, about a millimeter high. I'm about 2 millimeters low at the back. If I have to, I'd rather have more than not enough. So then I have my Euro tool, and somebody on the internet said, on my group, said that you can, this is for curves, working on a curve. So then I go right here, just give it a little. Okay, we got that first rivet down. All right, guys, after some contemplation, I am going to take this rivet out, and then I'm going to move it over to the correct space, and then I'm going to put this rivet in this side, and then this rivet is going to look good on top, but on the bottom it might be a little goofy where I kind of had to bore it that way about a millimeter. But I've never had to do this before, so this is going to be the first time we're doing this, so you guys are going to be with me, and we're just going to start by trimming this the bottom, and then we're going to push the rivet out and then replace it, bore this over a millimeter or and a half, and take it from there. So this is part of the pain sometimes. You guys have earned this final step, friends. So this has been a little bit of a interesting challenge. Look at that, guys. One more, and then we're ready to put the hinges on, and then finish up the door, and then we're ready to set the stone. Alrighty, jewelry junkies, we're at this point. I have the rivets in, and we are ready to set the stone. Now, I did mock it up with my floss. I put the floss, laid it across, and then I put the stone in there to make sure that it fits, and it does. But this stone is not exactly level. It's a little fatter on this side right here and a little skinnier on this side right here. So I'm going to level it. And Noble gave me some of this cabochon leveling clay and cushion. This is it. And we're going to give it a shot. I've never used this before. We're going to try. I'm going to... And a little fatter towards the front. It's like Play-Doh. It's kind of like dough, Play-Doh of some kind. And if I have to pull this out, I'll pull it out, I guess. I don't know if I should put my floss in there and I can pull the floss out. But just in case, if I have to pull it out and add more or take some away, I want to be able to get this stone out. So we're going to go like this. I'm going to try to get it in there as flat as I can. And I feel like I have a pretty good set right there, guys. So I've never used this leveling clay before, but that looks pretty dang level. Look at that. I feel pretty good about that. So what I'm going to do now is pull this out because I don't need it. I believe in the dream. Okay, so I think this is the point where we go ahead and set this, and that's in there really good, and that is nice. Going to use my rocker, and typically what I do right here is I go right here, and then I tap it in. But Millie usually helps me with that because I need an extra hand. I'm going to save this. This is awesome. She said put it in and seal it. Okay, cats, moms, and dads. This is liver of sulfured. And we are going to put this wire in that is going to be the catch for the door that will fit right here. Okay, let's just give it the old bend. Okay, we got plenty of space there. I'm fine with that. At this point in the game, guys, we're just thankful. And give it the finger bend in. Sometimes you can use needle nose pliers to get that bend in, but I use my fingers because I don't want to mar the metal. Go down about 5 millimeters south of that line, or north, depending on where you're looking at it. On both sides. And then right here, friends, I'm going to get some tension so these meet up, and then I'm going to melt that into a ball, melt it together. Okay, Juanitosville, we're going to give it the old Chad Parker flux. We're not going to heat the back plate at all. We're going to focus our energy right on the ball here. Okay, there we go. I'm cool with that. As you can see, I don't know what that was. As you can see, this is not much of a ball. It's more of just a meld together, and that's what we achieved. Ow, really, Johnny? That's what we achieved there. Yeah, buddy. We're getting close. Oh, I'm going nuts. Alrighty, friends, we're at this place. This is the final linchpin, if you will. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I balled one end, and if you see this, there's a little of a recess right there where this ball is meant to go. So, guys, part of the process, but I just need to get these lined up. Okay, it's moving. Okay, it's into the third, and it's coming out the back end, guys. So we're just gonna push this all the way through. Okay, nice. I am going to just get a little piece of metal right here and press. All right, guys, so on this part right here, typically what I'll do and put it right in the hole so that it is not gonna move on me. I want this, just like when I do rivets, I want this to be up about 2 millimeters, and right now it's about 3. So what I'm going to do is file it flat just so that it's not pinched. And then I'm going to give it one of these numbers. Cross hatch very, 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 very carefully. Create some of a mushroom at the end, just like we do when we do rivets. Cross hatching. And if you can see right there, guys, that is flush. See how fat it is right there, friends? That pin's not going to pull out this way now. Okay, we got the door. The door's going to go in this way. Close, shut. This, boom, we're gonna bend this just right, and that's basically it, guys. We just created a pretty epic piece. Mayan. Woo, guys. Okay, guys, so that's the conclusion. The next time you see this, it will be on its music video debut. Guys, I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, for making this. And oh, one more tip, guys. On this, you want to bend it so that it slopes like that, because you don't want this to be up. And I still need to fine tune this, but it's basically down, just like mine is. Mine never gets caught on anything. And I don't commit violence with my bracelets on, because I care about my stuff, and I care about other people's well-being. But yeah, so this is, yeah, dude, if this had any value, please subscribe. I have about 720 subscribers, I think, right now, and I'm going for 1,000. I think that would be a pretty cool milestone. But if you look at that, guys, look at that. Is that a cool art piece? I want to give a shout out to people that I've collabed with. Dennis Barker, Justin Russell Jr., Fred Grinnan, he's provided me with some stones. Seth Kane has provided me with plenty of stones. So, and I want to give a shout out to Ronnie Schwinn at Working Artist Gallery in Grand Junction, Colorado, where I sell a lot of my jewelry there. So yeah, I want to give her a shout out, and to all the people that have supported me along the way. Special shout out to Noble Art Dimensions. She did this stone. I'm about to work on some more stones that she did. So Noble, I hope you love this. I hope you feel powerful when you wear it. It was a work of love and a lot of positive energy. Like I said, if this had any value, please subscribe. Juanitosville, you guys know their merchandise. The links are in the description. Thank you so much. Moving on to the next 50 episodes, guys. I'm Benny. I'm out. Peace.
Boom, boom, beat.